What's up guys, it's Manga time once again, and I'm here to bring you my review of Fairy Tail chapter 435 and 436. Although honestly, 435 is a complete waste of space. Really. It pretty much brings an end to the Avatar mini arc, which was honestly a bit of a disappointment anyway. As it was basically the re-coming together of all of Fairy Tail, and we can't have that without Fairy Tail annihilating an enemy. And it's really weird that these dark guilds keep coming out of nowhere and then just get annihilated by the same guild, but you think they'd learn. But I do have to give props to Mashima though. You can criticize his work all you like, but you can't criticize the man's work ethic. Seriously, I don't. He was such a hard-working artist. Like he's done 4 weeks of double chapters, and there's color pages and everything in this. I tell you what, you wouldn't get that out of Kubo. Let's just say that. So, yeah. So this week starts off with Natsu destroying that war god in one shot, which is just ridiculous. But whatever. I'm not really going to review 435 much. Not much happens. Avatar gets defeated. Basically, they all get arrested. And that's pretty much the whole chapter. Gajiel comes back. This is basically the coming together of all of Fairy Tail. Once again, Gajiel, Levy, and Lily all show up, and basically, there's a bit of funny banter, but that's pretty much what the entire chapter is. It's people meeting each other again, and there being, some laughs amongst each other. Natsu kind of taking the piss out of Gajiel, and Gajiel threatening to arrest everyone, which is quite funny, I suppose. But Gray's kind of, I don't want to say transgression, since he was never even against them in the first place. But that's kind of forgiven straight away when Urza shows up, and everything kind of gets sorted out pretty neatly, and this mini arc just gets wrapped up basically, and the members of Avatar get taken away, and I presume we'll probably never see them again, although we might do. It's hard to say really. We get a cool double page shot of the Fairy Tail members all kind of like cheering. They're all here now. You got Urza, Happy, Gray, Wendy, Charl, Lucy, Natsu. They're all here. Juvia, Gajiel, Levy. They're pretty much all here. No sign of the Master. I think he's alright. I don't actually remember, to be honest. Sting and Rogue, however, they're here as well. And this is really weird, actually, the end of this chapter. Frosh is down with the Fairy Tail guys. And I don't know if this is supposed to be the culmination of Future Grey saying that Frosh will die. Future Rogue, sorry, saying that Frosh will die. If it is, then that's really lame. Because I thought that was building up to something big, but apparently that's if that's it. Because Natsu's just like, he broke his promise, he didn't actually kill him. And then Grey falls in love with Frosh, and then Juvia thinks that Frosh is a love rival, and that's about it really. So yeah, that's the chapter's really not that great. I mean, it's not terrible. As always with Fairy Tail, the artwork is pretty outstanding. But yeah, the chapter itself is kind of weak, really. It's a bit wishy-washy, just like the whole Avatar arc, really. So for 435, I think I'd probably drop a 6 on it. That's maybe a bit harsh. I'll probably give it a 7. But really, it's not that fantastic. However, 436 is fantastic. It is fantastic. It's called Memoirs, and as soon as the chapter appears, the title page has Zeref on the front. That's always a good sign. And it actually starts with Zeref's history, which is fantastic. And apparently he was at Mildian Magic Academy, and basically he was this prodigy. You get to see Zeref as a little kid. He's actually really kind of cute. And he's this prodigy who is delving into themes about life and death, which are, quite taboo. And it's actually it really reminded me of Full Metal Alchemist. Like, basically, he wants to find a way to bring his brother back to life. No, it's not exactly the same. But he's playing with these taboos that might require some kind of a sacrifice or something to bring a human back, and it's just not allowed. But, Zeref does have this fascination with life and death, and we get to see him both in the past and in the present day. And he's doing his usual shit where he's just kind of lying around doing absolutely nothing. But he reveals that he used to have a younger brother, but the younger brother died really, young. And so Zeref tried to bring him back with all this research. And basically Zeref kind of... We find out that the Eclipse Gate was built by Zeref, and the Ara system, I think it's called, they were all used by Zeref as a means of trying to get his brother back. And basically it eventually ends up with him getting banished from this academy because he keeps pressing forward with this taboo. And then his death magic comes out, and he basically kills everyone in the academy, accidentally, like Zeref tends to do. Although he has on occasion killed some people because he wants to, like Hades. So yeah, Zeref continues, in my opinion, to prove himself to be one of the more complex fairy tale characters and interesting fairy tale characters in the series. He's immortal and he hates that, and he tried to build people that would kill him to free him from this kind of life. But at the same time, this like never-ending life gave him infinite time to try and learn things and do more research. And I think he's a really interesting character. Actually, he's one of, in my opinion, Mashima's best examples of really good writing. And he's a character that's actually been handled quite well. He's probably the only villain in the series that's been handled pretty well so far. Anyway, obviously he hasn't had a proper fight or anything yet. So Natsu could still one-shot him with the power of friendship, but for now, Zeref is still very interesting in my opinion. And we know that he tried to create these demons to kill him, but eventually, he made End, which is actually Natsu, which is pretty crazy. But it does kind of make sense, because Natsu's always been like, Igneal's my father, but how's that even possible, because Igneal's a dragon? But, yeah, so basically Zeref created Natsu, or at least he says he had a body of his own, and Zeref has kept it that well. Natsu is actually Zeref's younger brother, or at least, I'm not sure Natsu is now. I can't tell if he's created in the image of his younger brother or not. But Zeref's name is Zeref Dragneal, and so he's Natsu's older brother, which is pretty fucking crazy. But yeah, he's the strongest of Thelios. Basically, he's the strongest of Zeref's demons. And I'd like to say that kind of explains why Natsu is so incredibly powerful. I will take it as an explanation for now. But Zeref then says, we'll talk about the days that you spent with Igneal and how I met Mavis another time. So basically, we've got more history to go into later, which is good. But Zeref says he has business to attend to with some people. But then he says, maybe not, I wouldn't call them people. He then meets this guy who's just sitting down, and he's like cloaked in black, really long white hair, and actually he has a really cool design. But apparently it's Acnologia, which is pretty crazy, in human form. So that's insane. I'm pretty sure the only history we got on Acnologia was that he was once a dragon slayer who became a dragon. I didn't realise it was possible for him to turn back. And I wonder if it's whether he can turn back at will or not. But either way, he has the kind of, the markings that Acnologia has all on his body and everything. He looks really awesome, actually. He's got a really cool, really like evil, badass design. But he's like, what do you want, Black Wizard? And Zeref has an interesting little conversation with him. Zeref's like, you wish for destruction, but you actually have the power to rule the world. And then he says, I can't tell why you're not doing that. And then Acnologia is like, well, you're the same. You could rule the world as well, but you don't want to. And basically Zeref says that, I couldn't decide if I wanted to fight against you or with you. But then he basically, Zeref has decided that his mission is to annihilate mankind, which we found out when he was discussing that with Mavis that other time, which is certainly interesting. And then he says to Acnologia that you've been waiting for someone to fight with everything you've got. So presumably, Zeref and Acnologia are going to have a smackdown, which is pretty crazy, because that is some reason to get hyped for. Or, at the very least, Zeref is talking about this big final war with the rest of the world. And it really feels like we're heading into the final arc of Fairy Tail, in my opinion. Because, with Zeref is coming again to the forefront by the looks of things. Not only that, but Acnologia is also here as a human. And, Zeref he's like, it's a good thing you stuck around and waited for the final battle between immortals, mankind, and dragons, because now it's coming to a head, and you'll get to see if you can fight anyone on your own terms, basically. So, that's really crazy. The revelation about Natsu being Zeref's brother is crazy. Zeref having his body, or at least creating his body and keeping it safe for ages is crazy. So, yeah, a really, really brilliant chapter, 436, and I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. It was a little low on content, but it was really nice getting the flashbacks for Zeref. Interesting to learn more about his character, more about Natsu's character, and seeing Acnologia. So really in this chapter we've got focus from like a couple of the most interesting characters in the entire series. And I think most people say this every time a new arc starts in Fairy Tail, but I'm really hoping something good comes out of this arc. The last time the villains were even remotely credible was Tartarus, so hopefully we get good things now. But let me know in the comments below, guys, what you thought this week's chapters, I suppose. Did you like the fact that Zeref, did you like all his revelations in his past? What do you think about Acnologia coming into the story? What did you think of the whole grey frost thing in 435? Is that, you know, is that actually going to be the end of that little storyline or what? But yeah, let me know, guys, in the comments below. And please subscribe to my videos. I'd super appreciate it. But until next time, guys, I'll catch you later. See you then.